Hello, I'm Jacqueline Holstead, and you are listening to On Point Conversations. In this podcast series, we share creative marketing, content, and branding strategies that help your business successfully navigate the new normal marketing environment. Well, Happy New Year. This is Jacqueline Holstead, and this is my first podcast of 2023. And it's exciting to have a new year. Starting out, it's been so far a good year. It's only been a couple weeks. Still keeping those resolutions and things going. Today, though, I'm going to talk about one of my favorite, topics, and one of my more products that I actually sell. So I'm actually talking about my own product that I have, and I have what I call it's basically the marketing planning calendar. You know, it's now 2023. I don't know about you, but I got my new calendar in December. It's been starting to fill up, and I use my calendar as a really good indicator of my time spent, what I'm going to do, my to-do list, what I accomplished. It's pretty involved. So in my business, I developed 3 products. Basically, they're product packages. One is what I call just your unique customized marketing planning calendar. The second one is a premium marketing calendar. And the third one is a premium plus marketing calendar. They are all marketing calendars, and they differ in price. So they go anywhere from $199 to the premium product, which is kind of depends on how big your company is. So I can't really give you a cost for that now, but it's more than $199. $199 is my basic package. But instead of talking about that today, I want to talk about what's included, because you can do this yourself. I like the business. I love working with you. But I know that sometimes that's not possible. And so I'm going to talk to you, and I'm going to go back to up to my Premium Plus marketing calendar. The reason that I started doing marketing calendars for my clients, and then also recommending that we keep this up, is that your marketing calendar, just like your calendar itself, it becomes your blueprint. So the planning calendar has all those key event dates, as well as your surrounding planning dates, messaging, identified platforms to distribute your message. Also the things like social media, digital and email marketing programs that you're planning, new product and service introductions. So what it helps you to do is lay out the year as best you can, and then adjust as you go along. So we don't do this just once a year. This is an evaluation that goes on during the year, but it's the marketing calendar that allows us to see what's coming, what we need to be prepared for. Because in my own business, I got very tired of having a client call me up 2 days before a trade show in a panic because they suddenly find they don't have any handouts for the trade show. And it causes a rush for everybody. It causes stress for everybody, and it's unnecessary because that trade show was scheduled a year in advance, at least. So when I do a marketing planning calendar for my clients, one of the first things I do is we use what's called the discovery and analysis stage. So I review with them, and we write out every event that they plan to go to during the year. Now, things might come up during the year. You can add those. But for right now, you're looking at all the events. What about trade shows? And that can be, by the way, online or in person. You're going to put the trade show in. What offers have you already determined? Because maybe your sales force has already determined some offers they want to do during the year. Coupons you might want to do during the year. Event-based promotions, whether those are in person or online, you're going to schedule those out. What are your public relations and media relations going to be? What's the plan for the year? And some of these are with other departments, but I haven't found any other departments that were unhappy with the ultimate outcome of this. Social media is another thing to plan. You do the best you can in planning. Things change constantly. We all know that. But this is considered a planning calendar, and it is an ongoing calendar that changes. But at least something is in the calendar already, so you have something to see what you're doing or what you might be planning on doing. You can put in any email marketing programs you're going to do, digital activities, and then new product and service introductions. And I find as we do planning and we do discovery, and as we include all the teams in this, I like to have a full team meeting, by the way, not just one department, but all departments, to start putting in all of the information on the calendar. It's amazing what you find. And you will also collaborate. There's better collaboration. There's better time management. And there is also better resource management, because you might find that you overlap on some of these and you don't have to reinvent the wheel every time you do it. So as you go through this exercise, that's a lot right there. These are the questions that you can ask yourself or your team. What are the current and future planned marketing activities? And again, that goes back to the trade show, the coupons, the offers. What dates are really needed to keep the marketing function organized and effective? So if you know you have a trade show coming up in July, and maybe you need a new booth, you know that that's going to take a number of months to do planning and everything. So you can move back your schedule and determine when you need to start, rather than being panicked at the end. You can look at, too, when your calendar gets really full, what activities are your priorities and what drives that event. Sometimes something gets on the calendar, an activity, and as we look at all the other activities and people's eyes start going, oh my gosh, we have a lot going on, that becomes less of a priority. It might be a nice to have, and we usually do, rather than putting on the calendar nice to have, sometimes that's put on an aside. It's kept, because we definitely want to keep that, but it is kept as something that's on another list that we can look at later. And what are the key events, offers, activities, weekly or monthly, that are really necessary for you to effectively run your business? So that's something to think about. What are you going to do? If you're in retail and you have a certain summer product, of course, you're going to want to be promoting that in the early spring or maybe even late winter to get people thinking about it. And how are you going to do that on a weekly and then a monthly basis? Now, I often ask what the best calendar format for the company is. It changes. I had one company want to do it all with just paper, real paper and pencil, which is fine. We did fine with it. One was more of a whiteboard kind of effect. Some were all on Google Calendar. There's so many avenues you can use, and I just go with whatever the company is used to using, because then they'll use it and they won't have to learn something else. And you can also talk what other organizing tools that might work to keep your marketing programs organized and your teams collaborating and people talking. And those are all things, there's so many out there that you maybe already have in your company. If you don't, you can look at what's the most effective and then pick one, because you're only going to want to learn one, and then let your team work on that. And then, social media is a big one. What do you want your presence to be? And as you put that on the calendar, is there a consistency to your dates and a consistency to your message? Now, things change a lot, and you're not just going to, I don't no longer suggest putting it on something that does it automatic. It was a nice thing to think about, but sometimes it's not the best message to come out at the right time. You have to look at really what's happening during that period of time, and is this the best message, and is this the best time to put this out? And also, what about email marketing programs? Should there be some? Do you want to put a newsletter out with the social media? There's a lot of things that go into the calendar that come up in a planning stage that people don't even think about. And it's basically because they're putting it on a calendar. A calendar is, recognized dates, and it really does eliminate stressful situations where you get down to the wire and you're trying to get your agency or outside resources to rush your product through, or rush your brochure through, or rush something through, and then you incur rush charges, and People get upset, and then also you have a better chance of, unfortunately, making a mistake. So I would say, and what we normally do too is in this process, because you might have already done this if you haven't, chart your selling cycle and the seasonality of your products and services you offer, and that way you're going to be creating the marketing program and the message that really centers around the target audience and ensures that you're promoting during the key times and in places that prospective customers are looking for what you're offering, so that there's visibility of it. So what should you look for in the end result of this calendar? Well, what I look for in the end result of this calendar is that it's very visual. Now, not everybody is a visual learner, so there is actually points in there where it'll be more explained, but it's very visual. It's very easy to see that in the year we have July is packed. Do we need to pack July? Do we need to back off? Do we need to move some things around? Because you don't want to inundate your customer or potential customer either. The calendar is generally color-coded. That means that you can either do it priority or by team or by function or whatever that is. It's color-coded and it's comprehensive. It's very much a marketing plan put into calendar format. So you can do things like plan resources, human resources, financial resources. You can look at the time and investment and also do things so you don't miss any of those key marketing opportunities, because now you're going to have it outlined. It's very actionable and it's very tactical. So some people who are visionaries are just not going to understand as well, but it can be very strategic, and it should be, because it's actionable and you're going to plan. It's also an ongoing, running, customized calendar with dates, times, effort, resources. So it's not static. It's going to keep its dynamic. And I recommend too that you integrate all of your marketing activities into the calendar. I know you might have different departments and different people, but working together and collaborating can make a much stronger marketing program. I think you already know that. But look at the online activities. Look at the offline events. Look at the offers, because you want to make sure that you've got kind of this consistent, seamless, multi-dimensional brand experience for the customer. You don't want to be all over the board and look like you're just scattered. And it also very much helps with timelines and scheduling dates. I would say timelines and schedules are the really detailed ones where you want to get very detailed, are not necessarily for this. This is really to gauge where you are in the marketing and also to help you know when to start. Like you might say, okay, I know a trade show's coming in September. I know we need a new booth. Let's start planning in January or whatever. And then from that point forward, you can do your detail calendar, which lists, on January 5th, we're going to have this. And by February, whatever that back ending that out in your calendar would be. I also do customizable calendars, but this one that I just described to you pretty much has everything. Now, why do I like it? I like it because sometimes in a marketing plan, companies will go, I already have a marketing plan. And they'll have this book. It's a big objective and strategies, and that's great as long as you're looking at the book. With a calendar, it just seems more immediate. And it is very visual on how your customer is actually being communicated with. Now, on the other hand, I have done calendars which are to different audiences, and it very much depends on what your company is doing and who you're marketing to. So if you have a variety of different audiences that you're doing different strategies for, which is not uncommon, you'll want to have different calendars. But you can overlay those calendars, because you want to see if there's any kind of trending or anything that you can do, to just monitor resources. We're not all able to do everything, and monitor financial resources so that to upper management, even this looks very good, because you can see where you're collaborating together, where your message is, and you can get very unified. I hope this helps you. If you have comments or you want to talk to me, you can just reach me at onpointthinking.com. That is my website. And I would love to talk to you. If you just want to leave me an email, I do get all those emails and I look at them myself and I answer them if it's applicable. Or if you have comments or questions that you want me to address on my On Point Conversations, my goal this year is to do a weekly podcast that is up to date on what is happening and what things I see in that particular week. Thank you and have a really, really good day and a good year. Thank you for listening, and I invite you to join me next week as we talk more about specific actions you can take to reach your own business goals. You can find my library of other inspiring podcasts like this one at onpointthinking.com. Again, thank you for listening. This is Jacqueline Holstead at On Point Conversations.